Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
The city of Detroit admitting to the defenders it made another mistake. The defenders discover another riverfront company operating without a permit. I'll tell you why you should care.
The constitutional clash. With that gavel, the impeachment trial for President Trump gets underway. A report from Capitol Hill as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and senators prepare for the historic trial.
We're going to begin, though, with dozens of drunk driving cases across the state in jeopardy because of bad breathalyzers. Glad you're with us for Local 4 News at 5. The head of the Michigan State Police went in front of lawmakers in Lansing today to testify about these flaws found in some breath alcohol testing devices.
MSP says an audit found problems with 8 of the 203 breathalyzers tested. That impacts 52 suspected drunk driving cases across the state. Sean Lay is live tonight. Sean, some of these cases are in Metro Detroit, and this could be criminal.
Absolutely. This is a big deal. Metro Detroit cases from different police departments here will explain that. And in talking to defense attorneys now today who are going to line up for this one, they're saying, look at this situation like a Jenga puzzle. This is a DUI case. You remove one piece, breathalyzer evidence, and they're saying the entire case will collapse. That's what local police departments are dealing with right now tonight. Today, MSP's top cop telling lawmakers in Lansing their criminal investigation into employees with a company called Intoximeters, who may have forged breathalyzer data, is expanding and now includes cases from Metro Detroit law enforcement agencies.
And 3 more impacted instruments located at Beverly Hills Police Department, Pittsfield Township Police Department, and Tecumseh Police Department, in which we suspect instrument calibration tests were again fabricated.
9 breath tests done by Beverly Hills Police taken from January to June of last year. Discrepancies were found that could be considered a criminal act by Intoximeter employees who were supposed to make sure the device was working correctly. Pittsfield Township has 5 tests under review. The department tells us it reviewed each case, found no problems, and put its breathalyzer back in service today. Wayne County Sheriff's Department immediately had their DataMaster breath test device checked out, and the undersheriff says their device is okay.
Oh, absolutely. We couldn't take any chances. We couldn't contribute to reasonable doubt in any criminal case that was out there, and we certainly wouldn't want to be part of any prosecution where the evidence was in doubt.
Macomb County will not use the device, and anyone stopped for suspected DUI will be sent for a blood draw. Same with police in Ann Arbor. Local 4 legal analyst Neil Rockine says, keep in mind, MSP saw a problem here last summer. What about people convicted of DUI since then?
We don't want innocent people to be accused of drunk driving. And there's a concern that could be happening at the moment.
And again, Kimberly, more than 50 cases right now under review because of this bad breathalyzer data. Expect that number to start growing and growing fast. Back to you.
Incredible, Sean. So what happens now?
3 things are happening right now. The state MSP says they are checking out each and every one of this brand of breathalyzer to see if they can go back into service or if they need to be scrapped and come up with something else. While police departments work with that, they are doing blood draws if they stop someone for DUI. That takes a lot more time. There's a lot more legalities involved in that and a lot more manpower. And then a criminal investigation against those 2 employees who are supposed to be checking these machines. They're under investigation for actually forging some of the data.
Yeah, so much more to come on this story, Sean. We appreciate it.
Now to breaking news from Detroit's west side. A 17-year-old girl has been stabbed to death in a home.
Tim Pamplin is on the scene on Granville near Finkel and Outer Drive.
This homicide occurring in the historic, charming neighborhood of Rosedale Park in northwest Detroit. Things like this don't normally happen here, one neighbor told me. A 17-year-old girl stabbed to death by her 18-year-old boyfriend, I'm being told. Now there's the suspect. Police got him in custody. He was inside the home that he shares with his girlfriend and some other family members when the verbal altercation turned deadly.
This is generally a very nice area, and we like to keep it that way. So I just want to assure everybody that the entire incident took place inside. It was a serious domestic violence incident. Unfortunately, it resulted in a homicide.
So back out here, neighbors returning home from work to the news that a 17-year-old young girl stabbed to death in her home. That's the scene on the west side. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
Okay, Tim, now to another historic day in Washington. Chief Justice John Roberts has taken his place as judge. The senators have been sworn in as jurors for the impeachment trial of President Trump. As Alice Barr reports from Capitol Hill, the president's legal team is getting ready for a constitutional clash.
Devin, this was the ceremonial start to the trial today. The real work begins Tuesday, with the Chief Justice acting more as a referee, while senators will make the final judgment. With a short walk across the Capitol, House Democrats capping the long march toward an historic impeachment trial. The charges against President Trump read aloud on the Senate floor.
President Trump solicited the interference of a foreign government, Ukraine, in the 2020 United States presidential election.
Chief Justice John Roberts then sworn in to preside over the trial.
I do.
And swear in each senator to do impartial justice as jurors.
Do you solemnly swear?
Behind the high ceremony, signs the investigative work is not over. The nonpartisan Government Accountability Office ruling today the White House violated the law in the issue at the heart of impeachment, withholding congressionally approved security assistance to Ukraine for the president's own policy reasons.
President Trump, simply put, broke the law.
Hasn't changed my view of whether or not this is an impeachable offense.
Adding to the pressure, MSNBC's interview with Lev Parnas, associate of President Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. Parnas directly implicating the president in the pressure campaign to get Ukraine to investigate the Bidens.
President Trump knew exactly what was going on.
President Trump denying Parnas's claims and attacking his credibility. He's under indictment for campaign finance charges.
I don't know him at all, don't know what he's about, don't know where he comes from, know nothing about him. I can only tell you this thing is a big hoax.
Senators now prepared to judge for themselves when opening arguments begin Tuesday. Senators still have to decide whether to allow new documents and witnesses in the trial. If they do, Lev Parnas has said he's willing to testify. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
All right, Alice. Well, let's get a look at the forecast. I guess this is the calm before the storm, huh?
That's right. Everywhere I went today, people were kind of talking about, is this the first big snowstorm of the year this weekend? Brandon is in for Ben. We're talking inches here still, right?
Yeah, and we have to be careful about knowing the timing on this because everybody's talking about it. Don't expect anything for about another 30 hours or so, and then the snow starts moving in. So right now we're going to enjoy about the last 25 minutes before the sun goes down. It is cloudy everywhere, including live in Ann Arbor. Middle 20s in all 4 zones, and you can see the winds 10 to 20, so your wind chills in the teens. Feels like 12 in Pontiac, 12 in Howell as well. Could have some single-digit wind chills later tonight, but the winds are going to basically start relaxing. Because of the clouds, we don't see a whole lot of difference in air temperatures. It just gets better wind chill-wise, but make sure you bundle up for that. So a few lake effect flurries happening out there, but guys, we're tracking a pretty big Saturday snowmaker, and we'll stack up the totals coming up.
Brandon. More breaking news to get to now, this time from the Local 4 defenders. We've uncovered another company operating along the river without a permit, storing gravel making material.
And this isn't far from the other company that had just part of its dock collapsed into the river after doing the same thing. We bring in Defender Karen Drew, breaking more on this story. Here we go again.
Yes, that's right, Devin and Kim. Well, we found another company just slipping through the cracks in the city of Detroit, not knowing that it was happening. We got the tip. We went out with our drone and take a look. This is the Detroit Marine Terminal, located along Jefferson Avenue. It's not hard to spot this huge pile of aggregate piled up right in front of the riverfront. The problem? The defenders did some digging, and this business has no permit to store this gravel-making material here. Why should you care? Well, remember, just down the river, Detroit Bulk Storage was storing aggregate illegally without a permit. The dock collapsed and then spilled contaminated soil into the river. The city had no idea that company was operating as well. This was the city's reaction earlier this week to our first find. The fact that this is happening, it's got to make me wonder how many other people are operating without a license.
That's
Can you say most assuredly that everyone else is operating legally?
No, I can't say that. Okay, but we are going to address every complaint that we have.
Well, a few days later, the defenders found this site operating without a permit, Detroit Marine Terminal, leaving you wonder how many others are out there. All right, so the city just responded to what the Local 4 defenders discovered this afternoon, sending us this statement reading, "This incident has brought to our attention the fact that we need to step up our property maintenance inspections on parcels along the river due to the potential impact they have on our environment. This lot has not been permitted for the current use and had not been prioritized for property maintenance inspections over the past several years. We now have a new process in place to conduct regular inspections of every riverfront parcel once a year. Since the collapse at the bulk storage parcel, we have inspected more than 50 riverfront properties and will continue until each one has been inspected." But it was interesting when I sat down with Mr. Bell. I said, are you confident that there aren't any others? And just in a matter of days, I got that tip.
Sure, yes.
So the city is finding them $3,550 because, they violated it, but
That's not a lot.
No.
But hard to figure out where we would be then on starting to tidy all this up if that thing hadn't collapsed to begin with.
Exactly, because now you're wondering, and that's why we're digging on this, because they are not supposed to be along the riverfront there if they're not terminated, because we don't know if this land can be stable enough.
Yeah, stay on
And
top.
you've got more coming up at 6 o'clock.
Yes, I do. It's I won't even get into it because it's pretty big, but we've got something else
Same
we're breaking
vein.
at 6.
Yeah, all righty. And much more ahead here at 5.
Here's Coco.
A pregnant woman shot early this morning in Clinton Township, and police are trying to track down the shooter. We'll tell you what we're learning coming up.
And a retired police officer's gun and badge stolen, but tonight Detroit police say they got it back. We'll tell you where it was found. Jason.
More drums of potentially dangerous chemicals found in Detroit. Environmental crews out today testing them. What's in them and how dangerous are they?